talk a little bit about Sue Allor?
Yeah, Sue would like to send her apologies not being able to be here. She is at a funeral. A good friend of hers passed away a few days ago, and the viewing and ceremony is today. She was driving up to the UP to go to that. She called me early this morning and said that she was going to send me a letter to read to you guys, and then she called me a little bit later and said, I'm still driving. I'm going to be driving for 5 more hours. I can't stop and do that. So I took notes while she talked, and I went ahead and typed them up, and so there's a few more copies back there. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the things that she's working on. As you may or may not know, she's a member of the Appropriations Committee. She's also on 5 of the subcommittees. Each subcommittee has their own budget that they approve. All of the budgets have come out of Phase 1 from their subcommittees. So now they have to get approved by the main Appropriations Committee. And then the House budget gets over to the Senate budget gets over to the House. They go through their little thing to approve or disapprove. History dictates that never in the history of Michigan Senate, House, have they ever approved each other's budget. Never, 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 never. So it's going to be tinkered with, it's going to be toyed with, everybody's going to be arguing about this, that, and the other thing. A couple of things that stuck out was Governor Snyder's $2 million appropriation for closing mines in the UP. That was a big no. The mines have been stable and untouched for decades. They can stay that way a little longer, is what she told me over the phone. Another line item that stood out was $1 million to the Michigan Conservative Corps. This organization basically consists of 2 parks, one in Brighton and one in Alcona County. They hire a total of 9 people a year, and nobody knows what happens to this $1 million. Apparently it's something that recurs year after year and has come up. They struck that. This is a good one. She was telling me, I don't know how this happened, but I can't remember the subcommittee. It's part of the transportation group. We own planes, apparently. There's a group of engineers employed by the state that maintain these planes. Nobody really knows, nobody in the legislature knows what these planes are used for, what they do. So it was suggested in the subcommittee that they were going to sell the planes, or most of them, and either reduce or eliminate the engineers and liquidate all the assets and put them into the transportation fund to fix our roads. Because nobody knew why we had planes. Why do we have planes? She was very surprised with that one. So she did want you guys to know that $100 per student is going to be going into the school aid fund. There's an interesting little note here about zoning of the Great Lakes. Yes, they zone the water of the Great Lakes in regards to fishing. She was saying it's Presqu'île to Alcona is MH1, and then Alcona on down to, I can't remember what she said, is MH2. And there's certain quotas that the DNR comes up with based on research and studies and stuff like that that they do. And apparently last year, MH1 overfished by 26,000 pounds, and MH2 underfished by about 26,000 pounds. So basically it was an offset. It's the same water, arbitrary line in there. So now this year they're imposing a 2 trout limit per fisherman for MH1 and MH2, which is pissing a lot of fishermen off. So that's one thing that's the DNR. The DNR has got some weird rules and regulations. I think
they're set by biologists that do this professionally, that know what they're doing. Because fishermen don't agree with it doesn't make it wrong.
Yay, science. There you go.
The DNR is hoping to combine this MH2 and MH1, and they're expediting it to May 1st. So this is something that, well, Sue has gotten a lot of flack over this from various and sundry fishing industries and tourism and individual fishermen and stuff like that. So she's looking into, okay, what are you guys doing? She's been really, really busy. Another one, and I actually totally feel for this. I'll tell you a little bit of my story because this is something that may very come up with legislation in the next couple of years. I'm bipolar, okay, and I do have Medicaid. I have my psychiatrist is Dr. Allor, and my primary care physician is Dr. Maestro. And one of the things that I use medically is birth control to help stabilize my hormones and my moods. Dr. Maestro will not prescribe those for me anymore because I'm over 40. Even though Dr. Allor would prefer that I be on them. I would prefer that I be on them because it does keep me more stable, and now since I've been off them, I've noticed a little bit of a temperamental issue coming back. But this is one of the problems that has been coming up between Medicaid and essentially the Department of Health and the Department of Human Services used to be separate. And then they combined into this one huge conglomeration, and the left doesn't know what the right is doing. So essentially psychiatric doesn't talk to the primary care physicians. And there's a lot of people falling through the cracks, and one of the things that DHHS wants to do is reevaluate the mental health status of those that are on Medicaid, those that are on Medicare, those that are in the system, and it's going to cost a pretty penny. So DHHS did their own special little report saying, no, we don't want a private entity to take over. We want to do it ourselves. Keeping in mind, they're the ones who get all the money, and the state obviously is going to cost more than any privatized institution. What is proposed at this point is that DHHS is going to allow a pilot program for 1 year in Kent County to see what this private entity does to get rid of this problem. We're looking at budgetary problems, potential lawsuits that are coming up. I mean, this is a serious problem between mental health and physical health. And the divide, I know personally, the divide is insane, and it ruins people. So this is one of the things that she found out about and is very interested in perhaps spearheading some legislation on to help get things squared away. And like I said, she's been really busy. Always on the go. She's on her phone and driving like all the time. If not, she's in Lansing. She rarely gets to see her kids or her hubby, and she's a very dedicated woman, and if she doesn't know about something, she finds out about something and makes an appropriate decision. And she listens to her constituents, and she's just a great lady all around. And so she sends her apologies. She couldn't be here, but she is at a funeral and hopes that everybody will understand, and also hopes to be here some other time.
This lady had a,
No, it's bypassed.
I thought it was something about the fishing. And
Yeah, it was the fishing. I was wondering if that also impacted commercial.
Yeah, because any of the charters, anybody that they bring on board that boat that's going to fish, to limit per person.
Oh, I don't even mean that. I mean the people that are actually fishing
Oh.
commercially.
It probably will, because it does affect quotas. The study that was conducted will probably affect quotas.
That's where your 26,000 pounds come from.
Yeah.
That's from commercial fishing, that's
Yeah.
not from sport fishing.
Yeah. So it's just, it's bureaucracy and I think a little bit of, I don't know.
MH1 spawns on Six Fathoms Bank, MH2 spawns on Yankee Reef, it's two separate areas.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay,
when you
that's
say
why
the
it's
same
divided.
water, it's not the same water. That's like saying the same wood, it's not the same wood.
Okay, see, you would know.
I do.
Yeah, you got it.
That's why I'm deferring to you for this one.
That's why 90% of the stuff she says I like, but this kind of got my hackles up a little.
Yeah, it did. Well, this is also one of the things that she said she has to do a little bit more research
Right.
on.
And what
So-
you're dealing with here also is you have tribal issues that are going on that we have to just abide by. And we
Yeah.
have to, like I used to be a we, but I'm no longer a we. That they have to set regulations, you have the tribal regulations set by the federal government and the state regulations set by the state. And they get first, so we get the
Okay.
leftovers. And if we could work together,
Okay, that
and a
makes
lot of
sense.
this is working together, say, hey, we'll give you this if we can get this back. And nothing is ever done to
You know what?
punish
If you
both
have
areas.
questions, seriously, give her a call, send her an email, she will get back to you. And that's one of the things that I would
Yeah,
highly recommend.
nothing
Next
is ever
time
done
she's
to
around,
punish people, there's give and take, and what can we do to give the sportsmen the most amount,
mhm,
but we have to pick up the scraps when we're talking tribal issues.
okay.
That's what I was gonna ask about, the Native Americans and their right to fish as much as they want.
Yeah, and in general, they work fairly close with the scientists,
Yeah.
and they have their own, but it's still, they get their cuts off the top.
Do you know if they're
Right.
still populating the lakes with trout? Are they farm
what?
raising, trout and then releasing them into the lakes?
Stocking,
Stocking.
yeah.
Stocking,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, there's stocking programs going on,
yeah, they're still, okay.
but
Put some more on.
salmon is no longer,
Salmon isn't, trout, are they doing trout?
yeah, because that's more of a native species, but it's salmon, that's done, yeah.
Okay, so,
There's a meeting going on in Oscoda on the fishery workshop on everything that they're doing and planning on doing. And that starts at 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock, Wednesday, 26th. And it's gonna be at the hall, Grace Hall at the north end of town, or south end of town, between that and the river, little strip mall in there.
This Wednesday?
Pardon?
This Wednesday?
yeah.
The 24th is this Wednesday.
No, 26th,
No,
today's the
today's
24th.
Oh, I'm sorry, 26th.
26th is the same day as Chandler's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
That's what
same
it
day
was.
and time as Chandler's
You gotta
meeting.
move.
Um,
It was, what was it again? It was on the fish, it's,
It's a workshop on the fish and what's being stocked. They stocked some in Savo River a couple days ago, and then Alcona had some going in, put the salmon in. And the workshop is based on 45 minutes or an hour run of each person that's their baby as they go through. And then you have questions or whatever on it.
and it's between 6 and 9 Wednesday at the town hall.
American Legion.
The American Legion. In Lincoln?
You know about one?
In
Do you
Hartsville.
know about that?
Oscoda.
In
Oscoda.
Oscoda.
Isn't it Oscoda?
American
I'm
Legion
on-
in
Yeah,
Oscoda.
that's American Legion there.
Okay, American Legion in Oscoda.
That's where they have that caboose, makeshift caboose standing out
Yeah,
front.
before you get to the bridge, it's on the left-hand side.
Yep, okay, yeah. Okay, let's see,
Well,
we covered,
cable.